again, the vision of us owning IP is I think we have to come up with the next Lilo and Stitch based on stories that we have here, that I think have tremendous potential for audiences globally.
So it is about us, but it belongs to somebody else, is what you're saying. It's not indigenously owned.
It needs
or
to be.
created.
It needs to be. I think my vision for the future is that. And same with music. Same with music. And the film festivals that we have. So, creative industries, I think, is an area that has tremendous potential.
This is an interview of you, not of me, but you've sparked the vision that I've had for indigenizing the defense contracting business. Because if you put military spending, the defense contracting, and actual federal spending together, it's actually more than tourism. It's 13.5 billion versus 12.8.
It comes very close, right?
It's huge. And basically they're flying people in and they get the contracts, they fly people out. But that's another issue. That's a huge amount of federal spending.
No, you've hit another driver of our economy. People talk about tourism, which is the biggest sector. Second biggest, I think you're right, is military, defense related. And how we get more value from that sector for Hawaii is something that we focused on. So in the technology sector, the dual use companies that work on projects that have military applications, but because they've worked on them, can segue into commercial civilian applications. So I think we're seeing a big increase in the dual use companies in Hawaii.
You mentioned the T word, technology.
That's right.
Can we go to Act 221 and high tech? Is high tech going to live after 221 kind of has been pushed off the table? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, our attitude has always been that technology is not a discrete sector in and of itself. For the Hawaii economy to be competitive, to continue to grow, to be productive, and to be resilient, as I call it, all sectors, including tourism, needs to be adopters and appliers of technology. Innovation and high technology occurs in every sector, not just this little thing called high tech, right? So I think that government policies need to be focused on making sure that all companies across all the sectors are able to be high tech. I think 221 and some of the other incentives that we've tried over the last decade or so have had an impact. It could not but have an impact. We spent a lot of money on 221, and I think a core group of companies have emerged, and it's time, and I believe that they will stand on their own, compete on a full and fair basis in the market without the need for huge government incentives. So to answer your question, I believe the technology sector, if you will, defined more broadly as technology application in the economy, will continue. What I think we need to focus on in Hawaii is more support of research and development, the front end. So the role that UH can play, the roles of the Institute for Astronomy, the role of the various colleges, College of Engineering at the University of Hawaii. Because I think if you take a look at any other regional economy, whether it's in North Carolina or in Austin, Texas, or even Silicon Valley, what was one of the key to their success, besides the human capital, the people, it was really having a R&D engine.
Yeah, the institutional.
That's right. And so I think I'm a big believer that the UH, is a major driver, and part of what economic development has to do is to make sure that there is integration between our institutions of research and higher education like UH, with the overall broader economy.
Ted, in a number of months, it'll be endgame, or let's say the administration will change. What will be most remembered and still carried on with some of the things that we've just said? Well, electric cars that you guys just introduced a few weeks ago, will those still be around?
Our energy initiative, which is now the Hawaii Clean Energy Initiative, is going to be something that I'm going to remember, and I believe that we have really laid the basis for that to be a legacy program.
That'll be the Lingo legacy?
It'll be one of hers. It'll be one of hers. I think that, again, Gene, what we've been able to accomplish in a couple of years in terms of increase in use of renewables, of energy efficiency, of advances in our transportation sector with electric vehicles has been remarkable and is being recognized. But I think we've institutionalized it with the PUC dockets, with laws and policies that you help adopt. I think that's going to be one of them. I think that Hawaii further figuring out its role in the Asia-Pacific region, our relationships, not only with China, but with Taiwan, with Japan, with Korea, with Southeast Asia, Indonesia, which the governor has, we've visited. I think we can't but find ways of integrating ourselves with the broader regional economy. We've talked about the creative industries. I think that will definitely continue, needs to continue. It's part of what makes Hawaii special. I think astronomy and space. We got the 30-meter telescope. We have some major agreement with NASA that we entered into just a couple of weeks ago. All those are long-term agreements which lay the foundation, I think, for a very healthy and growing economy.
What makes Ted Liu the most proud of what he did for 8 years for the state of Hawaii, working in the lingual administration of Director of DBED?
I've been extremely proud of being able to be part of a team. This has been an extraordinary team. I never thought, Gene, that I would be in government, public service. I never thought that I'd be in it this long. But what has kept me in it this long has been a team that's really had a vision, that's been focused on what's been right for Hawaii, that's been focused on doing, and there's been some difficult decisions that we have had to make, especially recently in the context of the economic crisis that we're in. But I think I'm most proud of having been part of that team and making some of the more difficult decisions and making them right.
Now, the position that you've had as Director of DBED, there are some individuals who have taken that as a platform. In fact, we have one gentleman running for governor by the name of Mufi Hanneman, who used to be Director of DBED. What does this say to you about your future and what you may be doing after you leave the administration? Are you going to run for governor, or what's the game plan? Ted, what's next?
I have, my plan, Gene, is to finish strong. The governor has given us the instruction that there's no finish line. You sort of run through the tape.
No finish line.
No finish line. We're going to be running hard until the very end. There are many things that we still want to accomplish.
Can you say any of those now, or
those are still? Everything that I've just indicated, I've mentioned, has been part of our long-term effort. We're going to continue to push through.
So no surprises. Just continue pushing.
No, yes. Because I think that's the right program.
So do you go back being a venture capitalist, a lawyer, businessman, politician, you're?
First and foremost, I'm going to go back and be a husband and a father. We moved here because of our kids. Linus and Jeremy are still in school here. My two oldest ones have graduated on the mainland. Okay. That to me is going to be a pretty important priority. And my wife Betty, there are a lot of things that we want to do. We will forever be I've learned an awful lot, and we would like to continue to contribute to Hawaii. What form that takes is unclear at this point.
So you're staying though?
Yes, I think I personally will always have a base in Hawaii, some sort of contact. But
because Ted, if I can say, we need the Chinese connection for what you've done in the past versus now. The future of tourism, I'm convinced, is going to be the visitor from mainland China.
I agree with you.